doing out there? New York and New Jersey. How are you doing? I'm Petty Officer Chinadu Darlington. Let me say, our favorite fan is out there today again. How you doing, Miss Keffer? I'm on with Petty Officer Ashley Tim, and I'm on with Petty Officer Michael Pinnock. And today we want you guys to travel with us over this week's Hump Day. All right. And, we're going to talk about the benefits the Navy has to offer, just traveling around that way, during these times where I hope everyone's still being safe and cautious and making good decisions out there, as we travel. And the beautiful background there, Ashley Tim has, get that mindset going that, you've been cooped up, locked up for a while, but, there's opportunities out there with the Navy that will allow you to benefit from, to see the world rather than looking at it from your living room or your screen background. Pinnock's over there in San Francisco, so I don't know why he's repping San Fran, but hey, we still love him. All right, so I want to jump into a few of the benefits that we offer here with the Navy. And, I'll just start simply by saying we have this huge program called the MAC Flight. And what the MAC Flight, and you guys add on anything you can do, because I know, Ashley, you've been on a MAC Flight, and I know people that have been on them. Basically, they're like discounted, if not free flights for military members if there are flights going from particular areas where there are bases. And you can hop a ride on there absolutely for free. So, which is pretty awesome. Okay. This goes for the Navy, but I want you guys to think Navy, think ocean, think boats, okay, or ships. But as we travel, we can get free TSA by providing our ID card with the number on the back, and we'll be able to get free TSA wherever you go. So no long lines, no taking your shoes off and putting your feet on the ground, all that good stuff. And then the one free bag check, which is pretty awesome. Now, how do you do this? How do you get the time to travel? Because people think when you join the Navy, you guys know I do this all the time, everyone thinks that we all get black bag, tied up, never see them again. No, that's not what happens. How do we get travel? All right, we earn 2.5 travel days a month. Okay, so that's 30 days a year that we can use how we please. Okay, yes, you can use those travel. You can use those travel days to travel the world, go around the world. It's not just travel use days. Popular guy. Travel use days that you go just stay in the United States. You can go anywhere in the world, which is like great. And you just route your request shit, which basically you ask permission. Hey, just like how you do at work. Hey, I'm going on vacation days from this time to this time. And then you can travel. And that's just automatic. You earn that just from starting in the beginning. While you're traveling around the world on our Navy bases, we have like huge amounts of facilities, including lodging. And it's at a huge discounted price where, staying at a hotel, if you're going to San Diego, might be a little bit too much and out of pocket when you could be able to stay at a Navy lodging on base. They're nice. And it's like super cheap. And then you be able to use the facilities on base to include like there's movie theaters and bowling alleys and gyms. And believe it or not, like that's just crazy enough to know that, I'm getting a discounted hotel and I still get all those amenities to come with it. So like, it's crazy how like you can go to like Pensacola, Florida, and all those amenities on that base. You can even play golf on that base. There's a huge golf thing. Now, don't want a lot of hashtags back. Oh, the military spends money on golf courses and stuff like that. No, it's just one nice amenity on a base. All right. We need a little free time too. But just for myself, like I've benefited so much, and I'm not telling anybody out there who's listening that's not in the Navy, this is why you should join the Navy. Go sign up tomorrow. I mean, it'd be great if you did, because you'd be able to experience a lot of this stuff. But I know part of this is really beneficial for me because I was living in Massachusetts with my parents till I was like 23. luckily I was able to do that. Some people don't even have that luxury. And, you know, I was just getting bored. I was always thinking, my family's from Barbados. So I've been there quite a few times. Like, I loved that, being able to travel, but I was just in Massachusetts my whole life. And as soon as I joined the Navy, my first 2 months, I don't really consider that traveling, but, you know, I spent, you know, a good 2 months in boot camp. You know, didn't get to see much there, but as soon as after that, I was 5 months in Florida. I was beautiful there. And then after that, I was 4.5 years in San Diego, California. And now I'm here in New York City. And maybe you don't like bouncing around like that. I love it personally, doing like these years at time. That's just my personal preference. I know people that have been stationed in San Diego and they've been there for 15, 16 years and serving in the Navy. That's just what they want to do. Some people that wanted to serve in Japan, they're 10, 14 years, like, you have the options to do so. You just line it up the way you want to line it up. And, you know, because this is the Navy, you can plan your career how you want it. All right. You know, as long as you're putting in the work and working hard, you can get a lot out that you put in. So I'm going to let them, you know, talk about their travel experiences, what they can offer more and travel benefits that I didn't mention. And I'll let you guys take, Ashley, you can go ahead and take it.
Thank you so much, Petty Officer Darlington. So again, as he said, I think this is probably only my second or third time on the live. So I'm Petty Officer First Class Ashley Tim. I kind of wanted to piggyback on his MAC flight, what he was talking about. So we have something called Space A travel, more commonly referred, you know, as Space A or military hops. And it's a privilege afforded to military service members, their families, and service retirees. So the system accommodates these passengers by letting them fill seats on Air Force transport flights that would otherwise be left empty. And these seats are made available on a case-by-case basis. So unused seats or DoD-owned control aircraft are made available once all the space-required passengers and cargo have been accommodated. If you want to know more about that, you just go on to Google and type in Space A travel, and it'll give you a breakdown of every single thing that you could imagine, and travel all over the place. I was stationed at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii before I came here. And I had the opportunity to take a Space A flight down to Australia for a week. And I think I paid like $2.75 for that flight. So it's just some really cool benefits that you can take advantage of while you're in. I originally started in Japan. I was there in Sasebo for 3 years. And then I shifted over to Bahrain in the Middle East for 2 years. Then I was in Hawaii for 3 years, and now I'm here. So this is actually my very first time in my 11 years in the Navy being stationed CONUS, or in the continental US. So the Navy definitely gives you so much time and opportunities to kind of explore every place that you go to, and take advantage of that time. You're getting paid to do it, so you may as well. That's all I've got.
Awesome. Thank you. Go, Michael, you can go right ahead and shoot.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm New York. Again, you know, I'm Petty Officer Pinnock. I'm with the marketing department for, you know, NRD New York, recruiting. So today, again, you know, I'm just going to touch on, you know, my experience as far as being in the Navy in regards to traveling. You know, I've been in the Navy for almost 9 years now, coming up in November. You know, I joined the Navy out of New York in Brooklyn, Flatbush to be exact. From there, you know, I went to boot camp in Chicago for 2 months. That was like my first set of traveling that I did with the Navy, and that was pretty fast. Then from there, you know, my first duty station was actually in Yokosuka, Japan. So I was there for 3 years, which was amazing. You know, I got to live there. You know, of course, I got to see the culture, got to explore, try new foods. It was amazing. Also, you know, the best thing about you know, I was stationed on a ship when I was there, so the best thing about that was the additional traveling benefits that we got, because obviously, you know, we work on ships at some point in our career. So whenever the ship goes to a new destination, we go to a new destination. So, you know, while I was stationed in Japan, I was able to go to places like China, you know, Singapore a couple of times, South Korea a lot of times, you know, Malaysia, Hong Kong, just to name a few. So then from there, I went to Spain, and I was in Spain for another 3 years, which was amazing. Over there, I was able to make rank, and I was able to, start getting paid to find housing there. So I was able to get a house, a 3-bedroom house, with a pool in the backyard, which was absolutely amazing as well. And in Spain, I traveled all over as well. Been to Greece a million times. Been to Italy maybe 3 times, France twice, Ukraine, Romania, Albania. The list kind of goes on. So all the list right there was basically free travel. So every time we got to these countries, the only thing I had to pay for was basically, getting a hotel, or when I went out shopping to buy a souvenir for my families and friends back home. And just basically money just to sightsee and spend. So that was basically it. So we kind of save money on the travel. So that's basically one major benefit of being in the Navy that I am very thankful and grateful of. But yeah, that's just, and I don't want to go on forever, but I could when it comes out to traveling in the Navy. That's one of the best things for me. But you guys could go ahead and finish it up.
Thank you guys. I appreciate that. So I quickly just want to, finish up here by just apologizing to my Instagram people, not necessarily because of any technical difficulty, but because Instagram just doesn't, it doesn't link up with all the other streaming services. So unfortunately, I got to do this whole thing. And I was like showing you guys while you talked. It was hilarious. So thank you for Instagram followers for still tuning in while, you have to get moved around like that. But yeah, just to, finish up here, you guys, traveling around the world is, something that's big to the Navy. So when you guys go out there and you're talking to people in the military and they say, oh, why would you join the Navy? Because you're just going to be on the ship the whole time. I don't want to hear, I'm going to be on the ship the whole time. All right. Because so many of you guys call in. I don't want to be on a ship my whole life. I'm like, okay, if that was possible, if that was possible, I let you know in a heartbeat. And then another thing, when the zombie apocalypse breaks out, and I don't believe it is, but if it does, and you want to get on one of these Navy ships, I'm going to be like, well, you remember what you said. But I just, before we close out, because it's Workout Wednesday, I want to do a special Workout Wednesday shout out to all the shipmates out there on the BHR combating that fire. They're working really hard. They're getting more of a workout than they probably ever could think. And the civilian firefighters as well, combating that fire for days now, because they're not giving up the ship. So special shout out to them. Follow us, on all our platforms like we usually say. But, Workout Wednesday definitely goes out to those guys. I mean, workout week, to be honest. All right. Do you guys have any last little things you want to say before we see these guys next Wednesday?
I don't think I have anything. I'd say, if you have any questions, send in your questions to all of our social media pages. We will get to them and probably add them onto our live next week. But thank you guys so much for stopping by.
All right, guys, that's it for this week. Oh, Michael, you have something?
No, I was just saying, I don't have anything else. I think we covered pretty much everything for travel today.
We had someone comment, never give up the ship on Instagram, and we won't. All right, you guys enjoy your Wednesday, and we'll see you next week.